You're listening to the Rockland News Morning Show. I'm your host, Tom Osa. Thanks for joining us today. Well, we have another rainy day ahead of us. The weather is Tuesday, 68 degrees, raining. Tomorrow, Wednesday, 76. However, as I always mention, the weather changes left and right these days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Now it's going to be partially sunny, which is the difference from yesterday, which was all rainy. 86, 81, 85, 88, then 93, 92. Looks like we're going to have that summer weather finally showing up right around the time where summer starts. But for today, starting with 9 o'clock in the morning, 25% chance of rain, and that's going to be steady up until tomorrow, 45% chance of rain at 3 a.m. But let's get into all the news that is fit for talking about today. And you'll notice that we just upgraded our intro music, so hopefully that is appreciated. I want to start off with the standardized sounds. I think I like that beginning song. Our team picked it out, and I was like, "Geez, sounds like Anchorman. Let's do it." But that's not why you're here. You want to hear about the news, so let's get into it right away. First of all, Rockland County's Office for the Aging has launched a portable meal program providing 5 weekly meals to eligible seniors in Spring Valley, Haverstraw, and Nyack. Meals are prepared by Meals on Wheels Rockland, which is also the charitable recipient for Rockland Music Fest this year, scheduled for September 27th, Saturday, at Clover Stadium in Pomona. 10 bands, actually 11 bands. But for the Office of the Aging Portable Meal Program, in order to register, contact the Office for Aging or local partner agencies like the Martin Luther King Center in Spring Valley and or the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Drivers were urged to avoid Route 9W last night near Tilcon following a head-on collision that caused significant traffic backups. Delays stretched past Route 304 and extended deep into Haverstraw. No word yet on the status of the drivers, but Rockland News will continue to find information on this tragic incident, and we're hoping for the best for those that were involved in the accident. And in addition, Old Route 304 South Mountain Road was also closed to traffic. Motorists are advised to seek alternate routes and expect extended travel times in the area if the investigation is ongoing. Nyack marks Juneteenth with a full day of events starting at the Farmers Market and ending at Memorial Park with a rededication of the bench by the road. And also in other news in Nyack, the village seeks housing for the Plaza fire victims. They're also continuing with New York forward planning and reminding residents of holiday service changes. New events upcoming include an art opening at Edward Hopper House and the return of the flower market. For those that are interested in helping out with the Plaza fire victims, there is a GoFundMe that's available on the Nyack, New York website. There were 13 families that were displaced about 2 weeks ago on Tuesday when a fire raged through 2 buildings in downtown Nyack. So we hope for the best for those if you're looking to donate. The last time we checked, it was about $90,000 that was donated thus far. So that'll help those families get through some pretty tough times over the next several months. And please continue to donate. In Clarkstown Parks and Recreation unveiled a summer lineup including a fireworks show on June 25th, tie-dye night on June 26th. No word if any Grateful Dead fans will be there. And the grand opening of an inclusive playground at Zucker Park. The new playground, honoring the late Councilman Mark Woods, who passed away unexpectedly last year, is wheelchair accessible and designed for children of all abilities. And in a conversation with Clarkstown Supervisor George Holman several weeks ago, he mentioned that this was in the works. So this is a commemoration of Councilman Mark Woods. The Stony Point Seals are extending a heartfelt thanks following the success of their second annual golf outing, which was held at Patriot Hills Golf Club. Michael Lydon mentioned that a special appreciation goes to Ron Gerhold and his team at the golf course, Patriot Hills, for smooth operations, and to Rob McFadden and the staff at the Patriot Lounge for a great meal. 96 golfers participated, joined by additional guests for lunch. The Seals also thanked those who donated baskets and prizes, as well as their many hole sponsors. We could not do this without you, says Leiden. The team looks forward to next year's event. And on June 18th, which is tomorrow, Clover Stadium, home of the New York Boulders in Pomona, New York, will host Stony Point night. The New York Boulders are scheduled to play the Quebec Capitals, and if you're looking for tickets, look for Kevin Nolan on the Stony Point community group. We'll probably be there as well. We'll be offering tickets for Rockland Music Fest. Again, that's on September 27th with 11 bands playing, including the headliners Magical Mystery Doors. They play Doors, Beatles, and Led Zeppelin music. They also have a residency down in Atlantic City this year. We're going to go check them out again in AC, but you'll be able to check them out 15 minutes away from anywhere in Rockland County if you head over to Clover Stadium on September 27th. Tickets are on sale now. You can head over to rocklandmusicfest.com, and there might be a deep discount up until the beginning of July. Rockland Community College will offer free tuition, fees, and books this fall for eligible adults through the new SUNY Reconnect initiative. The program is open to state residents aged 25 to 55 who have not completed a college degree. It aims to boost education and employment in high-demand fields across New York. Regeneron Pharmaceuticals in Suffern will conduct fire hydrant flushing today in Suffern. Nearby residents may notice sediment in their water and are advised to flush their cold faucets before use. For concerns, contact the Suffern Water Department or Mayor Curley. Senator Bill Weber will host his third annual Veterans Appreciation Reception on June 17th, today, at the Nyack Seaport. The reason why I say today is because it says on the screen June 17th, but that's today. So today, at the Nyack Seaport, over 225 veterans, including a World War II veteran, will be honored. The event will include dinner, raffles, and a tribute to the late councilman Mark Woods Jr. The Tappan Zee Bridge will be lit today in red, white, and blue. The Ramapo Catskill Library System announced upcoming events, including its 66th Legislative Breakfast on September 12th and the RCLS Road Trip launching June 30th. Key highlights include new marketing mind sessions, a failing forward lightning talk, and a QPR suicide prevention training. The Pearl River Library also welcomes new director Nancy Shaw. And I was over at the Stony Point Rose Memorial Library yesterday in a pinch because one of the local printers was closed. Why, I don't know. It was the middle of the day, but headed over, and I hope that everything's okay with the local printer, but headed over to Rose Memorial Library in a clip and was able to get print-ups of several documents that I had to mail out, and much appreciated to the Rose Memorial Library. For those of you that don't visit libraries that often, I would definitely encourage you to just happen to drop by. There are so many programs in local libraries. It's more than just books. And I have to give a huge shout out to especially the Rose Memorial Library, who in my early days, 18 years ago, starting my business, I did my initial research for months at Rose Memorial Library. So it's really a great place to guide yourself into not just a better future, but also a deeper appreciation of the vast knowledge that we are able to maintain. If you think it's all about Google, hop off this podcast now, please. Rose Memorial Library is just one of many libraries in the library system that can really help with anyone's educational journey. Okay, into the community news. As I mentioned yesterday, expect traffic changes in Stony Point and West Haverstraw this month. Northbound 9W over the James A. Farley Bridge was closed yesterday for the Champlain-Hudson Power Express pipeline project, which is a 339-mile pipeline from Canada down to New York City. And eventually the plan is for that to account for up to 20% of energy consumption in New York City. Pretty amazing. 339 miles to send energy to New York City. And a detour via Route 10 and Lowland Park was in place. Officials state that they appreciate your patience. As mentioned yesterday, New York lawmakers have approved a controversial bill allowing terminally ill patients to seek life ending medication. Patients must receive approval from two physicians and provide written consent with witnesses, and the bill now heads to Governor Hochul's desk. I should note that, and I think at this point, if you hear something like that, you've already kind of made up your minds about where you stand on this. But I found it interesting that the New York Times posted an article, and it's called "The Slippery Slope of Assisted Suicide." And I find it interesting that the New York Times published that. So if you're looking to learn more about the issue, I would certainly read on both ends of the spectrum what the possibilities are. And a lot of times when these bills pass, they don't necessarily really take effect now. But if you kind of project yourself 10, 20, 30 years into the future, eh. Farewell to the Place. After 8 years, New City's popular venue, The Place, is closing. Known for live music and bottomless brunches, the venue will host a series of final events to say goodbye. Owner Jenna thanked the community for their support. And I'd like to shout out the Rockland's Reddit group once again. I don't know if any of you are listening. If you want, you can post this and say that I disagree and everything. But shame on you guys. Shame on you. When Rockland's News posted about the closing, everybody chimed in. It's like, oh, good that they're closing. I didn't like that place anyway. Their food was subpar. This, that, the other. You know, you're all a bunch of naysayers. Like, yeah. All right. What about the employees that are now going to have to look for another job? What about the business owner that put her blood, sweat, and tears into that place for the last 8 years? You know I met Jenna several times, and they hosted an event for us there years ago. I didn't necessarily always connect with her or agree with her, but she's a fellow business owner. And for the Rockland Reddit group members, not everybody, but for people to chime in, I just find that just really a lack of class. I just have to say that. And if that's not objective, well, y'all head over to Rockland Reddit and check out what the comments are. It's pretty sad. It's really sad. But hey, listen, it's a free country and you're welcome to say what you want. I try to hold back. I'm not doing a very good job at it right now. But hey, freedom of speech. But it's really sad that people are piling on as they're mentioning that the place is closing. So it is what it is. But check your souls, guys. Check your souls. On the flip side of souls, Ruth Matriciani, who celebrated her 100th birthday with family, friends, and town officials recently. Orangetown Supervisor Teresa Kenny was there, and she joined in the festivities to honor Ruth's remarkable life. A huge congratulations to Pearl River's Ruth Matriciani. I hope I'm saying that name right, and many more happy years in front of you, we hope. Next item, the New York State Senate has unanimously passed a bill from Senator Bill Weber allowing trade unions to speak at high schools. The measure promotes career alternatives to college and is now awaiting action in the state assembly. And in fairness, I have to mention that members of the Rockland's Reddit subreddit were very much in favor of this. Those that chimed in, I don't know if it were the same ones, but obviously those who chimed in said that this is a great step forward. And some were unaware that trade schools are sometimes not allowed to speak at high schools. If we go back approximately 25 years ago, I was an admissions rep for Lincoln Technical Institute in Mahwah, New Jersey. And I'd drive all over the place. I'd go to Yonkers and sometimes, close to New York City, schools in Rockland County, schools in New Jersey, and basically talk about the benefits of getting a good quality trade and, making a good living out of it. So again, the measure promotes career alternatives to college, and is now awaiting action in the state assembly. As reported several days ago, a group is challenging Rockland's 2024 election results, claiming third-party candidate Diane Sarr's votes were undercounted. The Board of Elections is disputing this claim. A hearing is scheduled for September, and Rockland News is following up on that story. Stay tuned for more information. Rockland County Executive Ed Day reported over $389,000 has been reimbursed through the HEROES tuition program for volunteer first responders. The initiative supports college costs as thanks for life-saving community service. And finally, Mayor Joe Rand says community input is needed for two major upgrades, downtown redevelopment and Memorial Park shoreline. A public forum was held on June 11th, and residents can still submit ideas and take part in ongoing planning at NYACNYF.com. Turning our sights back to the weather, and we'll close with this. But again, Tuesday and Wednesday, today and tomorrow, it's going to be rainy. Today is going to be 68 degrees. Tomorrow is going to be 76. But the rest of the week, the weather did an end around on us once again. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I reported yesterday that it's going to be all rain. Now suddenly, I mean, were the meteorologists or the AI, did they like take the weekend off or something? Because now it's going to be mostly sunny, or at least partially sunny, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we're going to be in the high 80s, 86 degrees, 81 degrees, 85 degrees, and 88 degrees over the next 4 days, Thursday through Sunday. And then Monday and Tuesday, we're going to kick it up a notch. We're going to be in the 90s already. I had predicted, I'm not a meteorologist, I had predicted that we're going to have a very, very warm summer. And it looks like that is going to be the case. So 93 degrees on Monday and 92 degrees on Tuesday, also mostly sunny. And that is all for today for our Rockland News morning show, AM Rockland. I hope that you enjoyed yourselves or at least became a little bit more informed. But I want to thank those of you that have been tuning into these episodes. Again, the point is that we're looking to plant the flag in morning news. I was reading an article this morning about how podcasting has taken over news dissemination, and I do believe in it because, you know, how do I put this? So we have rocklandnews.com, and we post about 20 to 30 stories a week. We get a lot of information that comes into us. If you need to send something to us that's related to an organization or a company or a cause or an event that you have going on, and it's got to be specifically in Rockland County, send it over to news@rocklandsnews.com. We'll be more than happy to take a look at it and perhaps talk about it or publish it. But in addition to rocklandsnews.com, now we have the spoken word. And that's through this morning show. And there's also podcasts that occur regularly throughout the week. For instance, today we're going to have Andrew Ace Greenspan on AM Rockland, and he is a musician, singer-songwriter, and a motivational speaker. He's got a new album called Livin' Rough, Hanging Tough out now. Livin' Rough and Hanging Tough, and it is out now. And he's on Instagram. He's pretty out there, and we're looking forward to having him. But we also have elected officials, creators, musicians, a whole variety of different really interesting individuals that are on these podcasts. And you can check out more of them right now over at amrockland.com. And you'll see a list of all the different podcasts that we've had. We're available on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify. We just recently loaded up to LinkedIn. Shout out to the LinkedIn people that are taking the time to listen to this. And spread the word about that, because we're really looking to plant the flag. Now that WRCR is out of the picture for a while, we're looking to do that morning news. And we're also, finally, looking for some co-hosts, because you don't want to hear my wording all the time. You want to hear some co-hosts that add some different flavor to it. And if you're interested, just contact me, and we'll see if we could try you out for a show or two, see if it works for you. This podcast, again, is available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, usually in the afternoon after we do some editing, and we pepper in the many, many organizations that have helped us over the last several weeks to be able to make this news something that we can really, truly be appreciative of. For instance, Susan Coldwell, Coldwell Banker Realty, Regents Review, Yahoo Fence Company, Dana Pest Control, Lauren Molino Muller, Kobe Sushi, Sparkling Clean Homes, Patriot Lounge, St. Thomas Aquinas College. Thank you all for tuning in today, and we'll see you next time. Take care.